Hello, I will demonstrate how you can start building your own polymers by using the tools available in ADF Input to build your own structure library and stringing those structures together. And as an example, we'll build these two monomers, this epoxy agent EPON 862 and this cross-linking agent DETDA. So the first step is that we build these structures in your ADF input window. You can build it from scratch using the available tools and already available structures in the native structure database. So if you want to add molecules to that, you can do that, or you can just search in a search engine for a particular molecule and then looking for a smile string or an inky string. And you can directly input that into ADF input by copying and pasting that, and then it will start building a structure based on the connectivity. Now this epoxy agent, when it polymerizes, has a ring opening polymerization, and those epoxy rings will open. They form two alcohol groups, so we delete those bonds, add hydrogen atoms to the oxygen atoms by pressing Ctrl E, and we clean up the structure a little bit by pressing this cogwheel here, which does a UFF optimization, universal force field. And so that's kind of a neat and tidy structure. We select one of the end atoms as an anchor point, so then we can string a couple of these monomers together, and we save this as a structure in the structure database. So monomer EPON 862. And then we repeat the procedure for our cross-linking agent. So again, you can just look that up in a search engine, find its smiles or its inky string, paste that directly into ADF input. And again, if we want to start building polymers, we remove the two hydrogen atoms here, so it can start forming bonds with the various polymer strands. We select one of those nitrogen atoms as an anchor point, and we save that as monomer DETDA. Okay. And we start with a new structure now. We don't want to save the changes. And we take from this structure tool our monomer, and we click that straightly into the canvas, the building tool. And then we want to attach another monomer. We select that same monomer, and we can click anywhere in the canvas to start putting those two together. And maybe want to play around a little bit with how that sits in space. And again, you can use the pre-optimizer to tidy it up a little bit. Now let's say you've got two of those strands, right? So this is just a dimer, but you can make a couple of those together to get your own polymer. Just copy that strand. You could save that as a structure as well if you wished. Make another strand by copying and pasting it, and then maybe moving that molecule rotating it a little bit, moving it a little bit, so that you can cross-link it maybe across here. Let's see if that works. And we want to add our cross-linking agent here, and then we want to attach that part to this polymer strand. So we add a bond, add bond. It will try to snap that together, and now it's kind of a congested structure. So you want to run a couple of UFF optimizations to disentangle that a little bit. And that will take maybe a couple of hundred of steps, so we'll let that go. And then eventually, when you've done building your structure, you want to make sure that also you hydrogenate or make end caps at your group. So these are still radical sites here. This is a CH2 group at this end, and that's a CH2 group. So you want to cap that before you start running, for instance, your reactive molecular dynamic run to calculate whatever property you're interested in. So that concludes a little demo on how to do that. If I went a little bit too quickly, I would suggest that you go to our graphical user interface tutorials, and in the overview tutorials there are very good tutorials that teach you step by step how to build molecules, also including importing smile strings, building things from scratch. Step 8 is your own structure library, and step 6 here is actually building a natural polymer, i.e. a small peptide string from amino acids. So those give you the handles that you need to start building your own polymers from your own monomers, and even cross-link polymers if you have a cross-linking agent by adding them to your structure database.